Why do you think that your brand popped off, I guess?
Because it's sick.
That'll be $100,000 in 30 minutes. All right, guys, there are over 1 million clothing brands created every single year. 98% of them fail miserably. 2% of them are considered successful, and then less than 1% are considered generational. You see, the 1%ers, they almost transcend the rules of the game. They transcend what it means to be a brand. They use the same fabrics as everybody else. Their designs aren't really anything we haven't seen before. It's not some revolutionary Kanye shit, but they all have one common characteristic that kind of helps like skip the line to what it means to be a very successful generational brand. So what is it, right? What's this one mysterious superpower characteristic? That one characteristic is a personal brand. That is the one characteristic that kind of just gives them a hall pass to dominate the entire market, okay? And I'm talking a strong personal brand, not like, oh, I post on my Instagram story every now and then. See, I've been paying really close attention to all of these successful clothing brands and brands in general that have come out of, 2020 to 2024. And I can confidently say that the winners from 2025 till at least 2029, 2030 are going to be brands backed by personal brands, brands that are founder led. And I know this because I've lived it. See, when I first started my brand, Tame Psychotic, I was just another guy who had some cool designs in his head and a vision for like this big clothing brand. I posted some things on social media, but it was never about my brand. It was never about my passion behind building my business. It was never about clothes, right? And I think I did everything right. I made cool clothes. I ran some ads. I used quality materials. I made pretty cool designs. And things were going okay. We were making a little bit of money, but things didn't really explode until I started incorporating my personal brand into the development of the brand, right? I started documenting the journey of building the business, right? The process of building it and sharing the steps and, the journey with the audience that I had. We went from like 15, 20K months to, 100, 200K months in just a matter of a year. Actually less than a year, probably 8 months. See, because people aren't just buying clothes anymore, right? They're buying into the story, my vision, the community around the brand. It's much more than just a shirt on their back, right? And this leaves you with one question. How the fuck do you do it? Well, in this video, I'm going to kind of pull back the curtains for you guys and share how building a personal brand behind your physical brand has kind of changed the game for me, as well as a lot of other top brand owners in the clothing brand space, and will not just produce a successful clothing brand, but will give your brand the ability to stand the test of time and really become generational. It all starts with laying the foundation. So before you start posting, you need to kind of determine who your content is for. This is called your ICP, right? Your ideal customer profile. And here's how most people tell you to find it. Number one, list out who your ideal viewer is, right? How old are they? What do they look like? What do they sound like? Are they a boy? Are they a girl? What are their interests, right? And most people do this wrong because they have no clue where to get their information from. Well, here's the answer right here. Every brand owner's ICP is just going to be an extension of themselves. I'll use myself as an example, right? The ideal customer profile for my brand, Tame Psychotic, is going to be a young man like myself, probably living in America, who appreciates the chaotic pursuit of a superior self, right? A more badass version of themselves. That is me as a creator. I am the ideal customer profile for my brand, right? We'll use another example, right? Marcus Milioni, right? His brand Minted New York, right? It's all about the New York fast-paced lifestyle, right? The running, the business, the busy cars, the taxis, the big buildings, right? That's his ideal customer profile because that's who he is as a creator, as a person, as a consumer. See, you need to become the niche. Every single top founder-led brand started the same way, right? They made videos about shit that they were passionate about, and that drew in a core audience. See, the major problem that most creators face is just kind of copying what works and making content just for everyone, right? And this works to a degree. It's a great strategy if you're running an ad, but in the world of personal branding, it comes off extremely inauthentic, not real. It's that's like scripted, and you know, acting like somebody you're not really just isn't gonna get you anywhere. And you see this everywhere, not just in clothing. You see creators copying bigger creators like Mr. Beast, or really just any big creator that's winning, and then, you know, it may work for them a little bit, but in the long run, it really does nothing for their personal brand and to build something new and to open new territory for their audience. So just try and be authentic, right? Because people can see through an act, right? And if an audience does not trust you, they're never gonna buy from you. I want you guys to look at Anya from Caro Crafts. She's probably one of the most creative people in the clothing brand space, and she started her personal brand from just sharing pieces of artwork that she made in her bedroom. People began resonating with her art, not somebody else's art, her art, right? And then it just kind of transcended into her clothing brand, right? It's her art on her clothes, her culture, her documentation, her story in her clothes, so people care about it. She kept the same approach in building her brand, which is probably a multi-million-dollar brand at this point. I started creating content about things that matter to me in life, right? Doing cool shit, riding motorcycles, pushing my limits, taking risks, right? These things are all things you will see in my content again and again and again, and that contributes to my brand identity, my brand as a whole, like who I am, who my brand is, what we're about. And the message has never changed. It's always been the same shit. I've always been myself, trying to do things that I love and that I'm passionate about, and the message never changes. I never change. It stays consistent, and it gives your followers something concrete, something rock solid to be a part of. It attracts those diehard followers and also haters, but that's what we want. And I'm sitting here talking about passion, but passion is just the first step. The way you present your passion to the world matters just as much. So let's talk about building a content strategy. And we're gonna talk about it out here because it's nice out here and I like sitting on my balcony. Anyways, we're gonna build you a content roadmap, right? So follow along with me. Step one, videos, reels, TikToks, YouTube videos. Videos are the best way to grow your personal brand. Here's why, okay? First, reels on Instagram are pushed out to at least twice as many people as like carousel posts, photo dumps, shit like that, right? That's new followers. That's people who haven't seen your content, right? Number two, a video gives your viewer so much more information about who you are, especially if you're talking in this video, because you are now a person. You're no longer a picture of a person. You're a person that is talking to them. And maybe it's not in real life or like on FaceTime, but it's almost as good. It's me talking to you, not just showing you a picture of myself, right? That doesn't give you much information about who I am. Me talking to you, telling you about myself, about what I'm passionate about what I like to do, about what I'm doing next week, about what I'm gonna go do at this dinner that I'm gonna go to here in a few minutes, right? That's me telling you who I am, why you should like me, why you should support me, right? These are important things to remember whenever you're making content, because that's what's going to win people over and make people like you as a person, as a creator. And also, it's way easier to document the process of building something, whether it's a business or a community or a page or whatever it is, in video format, right? Because I can talk about what I'm doing, my mission, my struggles, my pain points, what I'm excited about, my wins, my losses. I can share all that because I'm talking to a person, right? So there's lots of different types of content you can make. You can make little edits with little, you know, songs and trending sounds over the background, which is cool and all, but does it resonate with your audience nearly as well as talking? No, it doesn't. And I know this from experience, okay? I've been making content videos on the internet for damn near like 4 or 5 years now, since COVID in 2020, I think. Yeah, since 2020 in COVID. Damn, it's been 5 years, holy shit. And I know this because I have posted thousands of videos of me talking, videos of me not talking, videos with trending audios, pictures, carousels, photo dumps. I've posted anything and everything, YouTube videos, vlog style YouTube videos, edit style YouTube videos. I have posted everything, so I know what works best, and what works best is yapping. And I know that a lot of you guys probably don't feel comfortable yapping on camera, but it is absolutely necessary in order to build a connection with your audience and make your audience like trust you, right? My audience trusts me because I talk to them. I share things with them, not things like surface level bullshit like, oh, like, you know, the world is great, the sky is blue, right? Everybody fucking knows that, right? I share my opinions, my thoughts, my values, my morals, what I care about, what I like, what I don't like. These people know me. My people who follow me, they know who I am as a person, and that is why they trust me. That is why they believe in me. That is why they want to support me, right? Because they know me. You want to support somebody you know a lot more than if you don't, right? That's how social media works too. do. So just start talking in your videos, start posting about what you like, what you're building, what you don't like. Get your audience familiar with who you are and what your mission is, what your project is, what you're building, your business. And if you're still unsure about where to start, here's a few examples of some content that you can make. First is day in the life, right? Day in the life is super easy, especially as a brand owner, as an operator, right? You just show what you're doing during the day to accomplish X goal, right? For me, that's waking up in the morning, making a to-do list, getting my Red Bull down, and then, starting my work, whether that's unboxing samples or meeting with, a client or meeting with a designer, or maybe it's going to do a photo shoot or writing a treatment for a short film that we're doing as part of the marketing campaign, right? It could be anything. I want you to build in public. This is where you kind of just focus on what's next for your brand, right? Focus on your next steps, right? Your plans for what you're gonna do next, and then how you plan to make that happen, how you plan to achieve that, right? That's what I do. There's a lot of creators who do this really well. Daniel Dallin is one. He talks about what his plans for his business are. He talks about the steps that he's gonna take to achieve those plans and make those plans happen. He's really good at documenting that, showing cool camera angles, sitting down and talking about the real shit that business owners have to deal with when growing their business, right? Another great example of this would be George Heaton. George Heaton is the owner of Represent. He makes a lot of videos just showing kind of like the behind the scenes of building a $1 million, potentially $1 billion brand. He shows the meetings, he shows, looking at different fabrics, he shows the photo shoots, he shows the Airbnbs that these guys get for marketing and stuff. He shows a lot of that BTS stuff, the stuff that most people don't see behind a big brand like that. Essentially, you just tell the world your goal, tell them what you want to do, and then showcase the process of achieving that. And that's inspiring. It makes people want to be a part of what you're doing because they can see the effort and the passion that you put into it. Another one is problem solving, right? A great example of problem solving concept would be Marcus Milioni. I know I've mentioned him before, but he makes a lot of videos talking about hyper specific issues that he's dealing with and how he plans on fixing them, right? Like, we have a supply chain issue. How do we fix that? Here's the steps that we're gonna take to try and fix that. Here's what we've done thus far. Here's what worked. Here's what hasn't. And here's how we're gonna pivot to kind of like figure out what the next step is. Problem solving videos are something I've used as well, and then I'm gonna be implementing a lot in 2025 just because I feel it really resonates with the audience, because it kind of shows them that like it's not easy building a business, that there are a lot of problems and pain points that you're gonna experience building it, and that you have to really like figure it out. Everything just doesn't come together like a magnetic puzzle. You know what I mean? You have to really search and try things and trial and error, and it is difficult, right? And sharing that with your audience really paints you as like a real person, and it kind of like puts you on the same level as them, and it helps them like relate to you more because you're struggling. You're someone with an audience and a mission and a goal in public, and you're showing that like you too have struggles, you too have issues that you're having to learn how to get past, right? I think problem solving content is really, really good and should be implemented in your growth strategy for your personal brand, especially if you're running a founder-led brand and you want to kind of do that founder story type content. Another cool thing that problem solving content does is it creates a problem and then an opportunity for you to create the solution. So for example, like Marcus Milioni, right? His problem that he presented to his audience was that there was no like cool looking running shoes in his opinion, right? So what does he do? He makes a cool looking running shoe for his audience to buy, right? For me, I found that there was really not many like masculine leaning streetwear brands, right? With masculine elements and stuff that a man's man would really like. So therefore, I now create those clothes for that specific people, right? I highlight a need or a problem, and then I create a solution and then highlight the solution for that problem, right? That's how I sell a lot of my clothes. It's how Marcus Milioni sells his clothes. It's really a great content strategy to use when doing founder story content. Another really good one is storytelling content, right? I love telling stories with my content. I love listening to stories. I love watching movies and shows and just seeing a story unravel before me. Stories are the oldest form of entertainment. Whenever they had cavemen and they didn't have TVs, they didn't have video games, they didn't have puzzles and shit, they had stories, right? They'd sit down and tell each other stories. That is the oldest and most pure form of entertainment, in my opinion. And I really love just telling stories from my life, right? In the beginning of 2024, I started making these get ready with me videos, right? And every single video, I wouldn't say anything about the clothes. I would talk very little about the clothes. Instead, I would tell stories from my life, right? Experiences that I had with girls or with my friends or with, like just people in general or things in general in my life that I thought would be interesting and good stories to tell to my audience. And people like that. People resonate with that. And it also, again, familiarizes your audience with you and who you are, what your life looks like, what you care about, what you like, what you don't like, right? This is is important. And not only do I tell stories with my personal brand, I also tell stories with my actual clothing brand, right? I make short films, kind of telling the story, and it's kind of like my life story with these, within these short films. But I make high quality short films that kind of tell a story of like an anonymous character, right? And this character essentially is me and the life that I've lived and the experiences that I've had. But it tells a story of this character that gets people emotionally involved in the brand, right? It gives them a reason to care about the clothes and about the products beyond just the products being cool, because it attaches meaning to it. It attaches a point of relatability, maybe a point of encouragement or a point of inspiration, right? We want to attach emotional elements to physical products, right? Because without the emotional element, it is just a physical product. It's just a tangible product that they can go get at H&M or Zara or the mall. You know what I mean? It's 5 minutes away. They can go get it for cheaper too, right? There's 4 types of content that you can be posting. I've just given you the fucking blueprint. I need you guys to be posting multiple times a week. If you want to build traction on social media and you want to get people invested, you need to be consistent. You need to give people a reason to look forward to your content every week or every day. I like to post a few times a week on Instagram. I like to post daily on TikTok, and I like to post weekly on YouTube. And sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't, right? But I'm consistent as I can be, and that's what matters, right? I need you guys to be very consistent. I need you guys to be structured with the days that you record, the days that you edit, the days that you post. You need to put together a content schedule in your calendar or in your notes or even in your head, and just start creating. Please, creating never hurt nobody, right? It only helps people. It has changed my life, and it could seriously change yours. And it's free. It's free. It costs nothing to make a video for other people to enjoy. And I'm not gonna end this video telling you to like and subscribe, just like every other YouTube video does. Instead, I wanna leave you with this one final thought. Your personal brand isn't just a marketing tool. It is the foundation of your entire business. What I've given you today isn't just a cookie cutter blueprint for any business, okay? Because that doesn't exist. See, the real power comes whenever you let your personal brand just be what it is, a reflection, a projection of you. That is how I built the life that I live. That is how I make the money that I've made. That is how I've built the community of like 1 million people at this point that I've built. Not by following some rigid blueprint, but just by letting the brand kind of evolve naturally alongside myself. And right now I'm working with a very small group of brand owners who get this, who understand that building a 1% clothing brand isn't just about copying what works, copying other people. And if that's something that resonates with you and you want a little bit of help implementing everything that we covered today, as well as all of the other components that go into building a 1% brand, then tap the link in the description of this video. I'll be taking on a handful, just a few of new students and working with you guys to build the personal brand of your dreams. The personal brand that's going to take your brand to the next level and make you a 1%er. No bullshit, just real advice and real strategies backed by someone who's actually done it. And with that being said, get to work, get in front of a camera, and I'll see you in the next one.